Hello, this is Harlan. Welcome to my introduction to fiber. Now I'm not going to cover the huge variety of fibers that exist and are used for needle felting and or wet felting. I'm just going to tell you about the most commonly used fibers. So let's begin. The two most common fibers used for needle felting and wet felting are merino and corradale. The fibers are named after the sheep breed from which they come. The fibers you see here have been stretched to remove any natural crimp and carded so that the fibers are running parallel to one another. Fiber in this form is wonderfully useful for wet felting. Merino is the finest of all the wool fibers. It also has the longest staple. Corradale is a bit more robust than merino. Merino is softer to the touch. Some of my friends who thought they couldn't wear wool were surprised to find that merino causes them no problems. Merino is one of the easiest fibers to wet felt. It takes a bit more effort to needle felt merino because it is so fine, but I think it is worth the effort. Corradale is easier to needle felt than merino. I'm sure it wet felts very well too. Corradale is a great fiber to use when you're just beginning needle felting. Merino is a wonderful fiber to use when you want a smooth finish to your pieces. Fiber that has been stretched and carded to run parallel to one another is usually sold in balls like this. I have also seen this sort of fiber sold in lengths of 12 inches or maybe 18 inches. I call fiber like this rope. I've heard others call it tops and others call it roving. Roving, I believe, is supposed to have a slight twist to the fibers in preparation for spinning. Fiber is also often produced in this form, which is called bat. These fibers have not been stretched, so they retain some of their natural crimp, and the fibers are not aligned in one direction. This can be very useful. When I started needle felting, I never saw short merino bat fiber. I could find corradale in bat form back then, but not merino. I figured out on my own that it made sense to cut the long length of merino fibers to make it easier and more useful for needle felting. Short merino bat is lovely to use. It needle felts a bit more easily than merino fiber that has been stretched. If you have ever taken one of my classes, you may have had me tell you to cut and card your merino fiber. I usually follow that instruction with the comment that messy fiber is halfway to felted fiber. Short merino bat fiber is like having the cut and carding done for you. Both forms, rope or bat, have their uses. You can also mix them together for some purposes. I find that rope is easier to measure accurately when that is needed for a project, such as earrings. Bat fiber can save you time. You don't need to cut and card the fiber, and it needle felts just a bit faster. I think it is worthwhile to have both forms in your fiber cache. Core fiber is another cache staple if you do any needle felted sculpture. I use core fiber that is made for comforters and quilts. Core fiber is bat form, but it is made from many types of wool. It needle felts very nicely and quickly. Pound for pound, ounce for ounce, core fiber is a deal. Use it for the basic shapes in a sculpture and then cover it with more expensive fibers, such as merino. There are a lot of useful novelty fibers. Shetland is another sheep breed that produces a fine wool that has a fine crimp to it. Fibers such as Shetland are wonderful to use as hair and beards on sculptures of human figures. These are Leicester wool locks, which have a wonderful curl to them and a glossy sheen. Now, what could be more perfect for a sculpture of a sheep than Leicester wool locks? There are so many different fibers out there. Look for samplers that allow you to purchase smaller quantities of fiber and try them out. Thank you for watching my introduction to fiber. I hope you found it useful and that you'll join me for some other classes. For CraftArtEDU, this is Harlan. Be sure to check out my other CraftArtEDU classes in needle felt and in oil painting.